This is a tradition, like I said, that Mr. McAdams started a long time ago, and we want to continue and to honor our policemen, our firemen, our EMTs, and all of the other workers in Douglasville and Douglas County. So I know you didn't come to hear me speak. You came to hear James, but he's not here. So first person I'm going to call on is our chairman of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Tom Wortham.
First of all, I want to thank Post 145 for this annual event that you do every year to honor Douglas County and the city of Douglasville firemen, EMTs, our sheriff's deputies, our city police. We appreciate it. We don't tell them often enough how important they are to our community. And I think tonight we're going to pick out some pretty good people to tell them thank you. I wanted to talk a little bit. I have the opportunity tonight to talk about the Employee of the Year in Douglas County. This is no easy task, ladies and gentlemen. We have about 1,000 employees, so it's not an easy task at all. But our Employee of the Year graduated from Georgia Tech with a Bachelor of Science degree in Management. He also obtained a master's degree in Planning and Public Administration from Georgia Tech. He's a rambling wreck. You can find him most Saturdays during the gridiron season dressed in Crimson Tide colors at the University of Alabama. Kathy graduated from Alabama. But no, I'm just joking. Eric does go to Grantville every once in a while, I understand. Eric Linton came to Douglas County as our planning and zoning director in December of 2000. He became our administrator in 2005. It's not, as I said earlier, it's not a small task of managing 1,000 employees. Eric has gone through the same economic crunch that all the rest of us have, and he has the task of bringing a balanced budget to the Board of Commissioners. That wasn't too difficult to do about 4 years ago. But when you've lost about $10 million in revenue over the last 4 years, it's a major task. And to bring that balanced budget to the Board of Commissioners, there's 5 of us, and that's not an easy task either. But it's a tough job. It's a tough job for all of us, it's a tough job for our county administrator. And Eric has to come to the 5 members of the Board of Commissioners and make recommendation and get us all to agree on it. At least 3 of us anyway, right, Eric? So maybe the person who hired Eric really should get this award. And that would be me. So, I want to bring Eric up. Kathy, if you'd come. Eric's mom, Alice, is here with him tonight. If all of y'all would come up, we have a presentation to give Eric. Linda says I never need a microphone when I speak anyway, so I'll step away from the microphone. Eric, 19th Annual Douglas County Employees of the Year. In consideration of your selection for this honor by your peers, American Legion Post 145 proudly presents this plaque for your dedicated service rendered to all the citizens of Douglasville and Douglas County. Congratulations.
Thank you. So that this is waste time. I like my best sword. I've been told to get pictures.
There we go.
Stand right there.
All right.
See what we did.
You got anything you'd like to say? Sure. All right.
Steve?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Eric.
No, great. Thank you. Thank you. Put that right here. Makes a lot of noise. Okay, well, Mr. Chairman, and Board of Commissioners, I want to thank y'all for this, for allowing me to be the county administrator and the opportunity to work for Douglas County. It's a true honor to receive this award tonight, and I do thank you greatly for that. Also want to introduce, and Chairman already introduced, but my wife and my mother. That was a surprise for them to be here tonight. When I walked in the door, I saw them come in. I got a little suspicious. So that's great, and I appreciate them being here tonight. But also want to thank the one thing with Douglas County and our staff. We work as a team approach to a lot of things, and I couldn't do it without our department heads that we have with us. We have several of them here tonight, and a lot of them have been with us a long time. And I brought some of them in, hired them, and the other ones have been here, for many years before me, and they all do a great job, and we work well together from that standpoint. And that dedication is, when we have these economic times, as the chairman mentioned, that's really important. One other thing I want to say, and as y'all see the county continue to grow even during these economic times, we have a lot of projects that we still are doing, and that team approach helps a lot, especially in these times that we've taken advantage of the economy a little bit with these projects. You're working with the library we have going on. That'll be open this fall, and if y'all haven't been down there, you ought to drive by there. It's on a beautiful piece of property the board bought back many years ago. Also, we have our new E911 center. It's going to be opened up in June of this year. We have the new Lithia Park. They'll be open this summer, be ready to finish this summer. That's a replacement park to the Woodrow Wilson Park that was destroyed during the flood of 2009. And then the biggest project, we have these two huge cranes you see out on, you see them from I-20, you can see them from numerous spots in the county, which is our new jail and law enforcement center that we all voted for back in, I guess it was 2 years ago. And so that's going on now. But again, I want to thank us all because, the success of the community takes the involvement of each of us as residents, business owners, and other community and government leaders. And without that, the community is not the same. So it takes us all, and I appreciate being honored tonight. And thank you.
Our next presenter for the evening is from the Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority for the Employee of the Year. He'll be presented by Water Treatment Plant Supervisor Steve Green.
Good evening. Again, I'm Steve Green, Water Plant Superintendent for the Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority. It's my honor tonight to be able to present our Employee of the Year to Mr. Curtis Meadows. Curtis is our Water Laboratory Supervisor. He has a BS degree in biology. He's a certified water analyst, water laboratory analyst, and a certified Class II water plant operator. I've had the pleasure of working with Curtis for the last 12 years. During that time, he has provided WSA with just exceptional service. He has more than 30 years of experience in the water field, and that's a tremendous benefit to WSA. He has provided significant and consistent contributions toward WSA being able to be recognized for several awards, a few of which are the U.S. EPA Directors Award for the Partnership for Safe Water Program. We have won 11 consecutive gold awards from the Georgia Association of Water Professionals. That award is given to water systems that consistently meet regulatory compliance. 2 safety awards, and then close to home for Curtis is 2 Lab of the Year awards. I will say that almost 2 Lab of the Year awards. The second award, we competed against what we call the big boys. We were competing against the big systems in Metro Atlanta, Gwinnett County, Clayton, Cobb, places like that. So that was a great accomplishment to win that award. Curtis also oversees a sampling program that has resulted in 5, and we hope soon to be 6, stream segments in Douglas County that have been removed from the EPD's list of impaired waters. He has an exceptional laboratory quality control and quality assurance program. He has a great ability to take charge and just complete assignments and projects with little and usually no direction. He has trained his water analysts to ensure that they are able to handle a wide variety of issues in his absence. He's developed and presented in-house training programs to ensure the recertification of our employees, and that actually saves the company money because we don't have to pay to send these people out for their recertification training. He has an ability to calmly and rationally address challenges both from the technical standpoint and the employee-related challenges. He has just a constant positive attitude and a very pleasant demeanor. He works well with all the divisions within WSA. He provides exceptional response to customer service. Matter of fact, Curtis is on call. He's been on call for many years. From time to time, he does get called out, evenings, weekends. He's very, very prompt, very professional when he does that, and he has never complained about any of that or anything he ever has to do. In my opinion, Curtis is the type of employee that anyone would love to have. I really feel privileged to be able to work with Curtis, and I join you now in congratulating him on this award.
I guess I should tell you what the award says. It's the 19th Annual Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority Employee of the Year, presented to Curtis Meadows, Water Lab Supervisor, by the Frank P. Doris, American Legion Post 145, Douglasville, Georgia, this 15th day of May, 2011. In consideration of your selection for this honor by your peers, American Legion Post 145 proudly presents this plaque for your dedicated services rendered to all of the citizens of Douglasville and Douglas County, and it's signed by James McAdams, Commander, and myself as the Adjutant. All of them are the same.
I'd just like to say this is an honor and a privilege, and I hope I can live up to this in the future.
We got a photographer that's going to get good pictures. By the way, the Douglasville American Legion Post now has a website. You can find us at galegion145.org. So if you want to know when we've got something going on, there's a calendar and all kinds of information for you. And we'll ask our next presenter to be coming forward. This is the Douglas County Board of Health Employee of the Year, which will be presented by Director Carla Ayers. I just happen to have it. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Carla Ayers, and I am the Center Director at the Douglasville Public Health Center. I'm new. I've only been there about 6 weeks, but I have worked with Brenda in the past. Brenda Fuller is the nurse who's received our award this year. In 1995, she received her associate degree in nursing and became an RN. Brenda has worked with the Douglas County Board of Health since 1987, and she started there as an LPN, and during that time received her AD degree and became the RN. Brenda has been with Douglas Public Health for 23 years and is an invaluable asset to the county and the citizens she serves. Brenda works in a number of clinical areas, and she's accompanied tonight by her parents, John and Catherine Fuller, and her sister. And Brenda, come on up.
I want to say thank you for the honor and privilege of this board, and I owe a lot to God and my family and my coworkers for supporting me all this time to get me where I am today.
Our next presenter is for the Douglas County Sheriff's Department Employees of the Year, and I have Sheriff Miller to be the presenter, and I see that he's hiding back there.
Some bad clouds coming outside. I don't know. We had a roof fall in. Did they say that it's not caused by the weather? Did you didn't hear about it? Yeah, but looks pretty good on this side, but that side's a little dark. Scary. If you live like I do, you run for cover when that's special thanks to all the people that help us every day, the Georgia State Patrol, the City of Douglasville Police Department, and all the guys that work for me that do such a great job every day trying to keep you and me safe. And you guys do a wonderful job, and I know this community appreciates it, but so do I. Our first Employee of the Year is the Jail Employee of the Year, and it's to Matthew Vaughn. Matthew, would you come up? Wait. Matthew has been employed with us for less than 2 years. I'll cut this off. In that length of time, he's only called out once. Early on, he distinguished himself as a career take-charge kind of guy who displayed the character traits of an excellent employee. He has demonstrated a high degree of loyalty and trustworthiness, and because of this, he has been given the responsibility of training new employees. Although this has effectively made his job much more difficult and time-consuming, he's never asked for anything in return. He's now scheduled to become a field training officer in June, and then we'll be able to compensate his pay a little bit. Matthew teaches martial arts in his off time and has competed in several tournaments. He can whip Chuck Norris and 2 or 3 of them other guys on TV all at the same time. In his short tenure, he has earned the respect of his co-workers and his supervisors. He is frequently called upon to answer employees' questions and concerns without calling on his supervisors, and he has been referred to as a supervisor's dream employee. Who wrote that? You write this? You write this? We're very proud of Matthew and the job that he does, and if I can find a little token of our appreciation, we really appreciate you, Matt. Yeah, if we never get that right, no matter how many times we try.
Thank you so much.
You want
By the
the-
flag?
huh?
Or you want to do all three together?
Doesn't matter to me.
Your
How
choice.
do you prefer?
Your choice.
Stand right there.
You're
man.
the sheriff.
Our next employee is our Civilian Employee of the Year, and it's awarded to Mrs. Barbara Snodregger. Did I say that right? I have trouble with names up here. I don't know. Would you come up, Barbara? I see her every day, but she does have a funny last name. Sorry about that. Miss Bobby has been with us for about 6 years. She started out working in records and moved into the position of Criminal Investigation Division Secretary. Excellence in performance is something that we all strive for, but Miss Bobby, for her, it's a piece of cake. She's one of those rare and precious people that actually work hard every minute of every day. On top, I may give you another job if you do all that. On top of her routine daily assignments, she is frequently given special tasks and strict deadlines, and she always comes through. I do not believe you can inundate her with too much work. Her computer skills are extraordinary, and she will quickly accept extra work to assist investigators. On her yearly performance evaluation, no one in her chain of command could find anything negative to say about her performance. Ms. Bobby is the epitome of an excellent employee, and her attitude and performance reflects great credit upon her and this agency. We're very fortunate to have Miss Bobby working with us, and your name's not Matt Gray, it's Bobby. Thank you so much for all you do, and you don't know how much we appreciate you, and we're so proud that the American Legion and us have picked you. Couldn't go to a better person. You want? Oh, you can't say anything. I got to do the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mayor. This next guy, he's been around quite a while, and he means a tremendous amount to me. He worked for the sheriff's office for a while, and he left and went to work with the DA's office as an investigator. And he came to me a couple years ago and asked me could he have his job back, and it was one of those pleasant occasions where somebody asks you for their job back. Sometimes you're glad you got rid of whoever it was, but in this particular case, Matt Gray came back to work for the sheriff's office. Some of you may remember on my birthday, and which is June the 5th, if anybody wants to buy me a present. But on June the 5th, was it 2004? 3, okay. He and a city police officer went down off of Highway 5 to a house to arrest a man for a hit and run, and the man came to the door with a .44 Magnum pistol and shot Matt in the back with that .44 Magnum, and the corner of the bulletproof vest that comes down to this caught that bullet and just pushed that bullet kind of into his body. But he didn't look real good on the scene, but he made it, and we're proud. You've been a blessing to me, and you've been a blessing to Douglas County, and you're a blessing to this department, Matt. If you'd come on up. They've got some other stuff for me to read about you, but I think I've said about enough. But he is one of those true heroes. He's one of those guys that would stop a bullet for you and did. And I don't know how many of you people know what a .44 Magnum will do to a human being, but it'll cut you in two. And fortunately, we still have him here. And fortunately, we have him back at the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. And I just want to tell you, man, how much I appreciate you and love you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. There's your check. Give me a hand for that. And, thank you so much. You want us to
Yes, please, sir.
Thanks again for your support. The American Legion, thank you so much. Thank you for the service to this country, number one, and also thank you for your service to this community.
Here's your paper. He kept trying to get mine.
I want to stand by her.
No, we need to do all three at once. All three at once. All three at once. All three at once. Just get close together. There we go. And while they're getting their picture taken, which is so important, we need to call up Deputy Chief Kim Ransom, and she's going to talk about the Douglas County Fire and EMTs. One, two, three, four, five.
Good evening. Thank all of y'all for coming out on this horrible weather and being with us. And we'd like to thank the Legion for having us here. We always enjoy this. And we appreciate what you do for our community and what you stand for. Chief Spencer always attends this event. However, on Wednesday he had shoulder surgery, so he's a little under the weather and he was not able to be here. So he has asked me to say a few things for him. We often get a chance to interact with people and strangers' lives. As firefighters and EMTs, we're placed in situations where we go to make a difference in people's lives. Most of the time, the people we help are total strangers, and we probably don't know much about them when we take care of them. This was not the case for the crew that we'll recognize tonight. Sheila Watson had served the citizens of this county for 37 years as the assistant to the chief at the fire department. She had planned to retire on February 1st of this year, but on January 4th, her plans changed dramatically. That night, she had a heart attack. Her husband, Wayne, called 911, and the crew from the Fairplay Fire Station responded. And imagine their surprise when they got there and this was their Miss Sheila. Her heart actually stopped and they had to shock her back to life. They did an outstanding job in treating and transporting her to Tanner Hospital, where she received several stents and was released about a week later. Seldom do we get the opportunity to save one of our own, but that night we did. I'm so thankful and proud for the crew who did such a great job. And they are Sergeant Rodney Higginbotham, Sergeant Jeff Collette, Firefighter EMT Nathan Britt, Firefighter Paramedic Eric Reinhardt, and Firefighter Paramedic Chris Cannon. And two of those couldn't be with us tonight because they're actually under the weather. Literally. I'm going to just read one of these. Okay. 19th Annual Douglas County Fire EMT Department Employee of the Year, Sergeant Rodney Higginbotham, Firefighter EMT, Engine 4, from the Frank P. Doris American Legion Post 145, Douglasville, Georgia, this 15th day of April, 2011. While I have these guys up here, we have a very special award to present. Miss Sheila, who is now enjoying life to the fullest and enjoying her retirement, is actually out tonight and couldn't be with us. She's doing something that she's been wanting to do for many, many months. But her husband, Wayne, is here, and I'd like to ask Wayne to come up here and be with these guys for a minute. You'll have to excuse me here. Wayne, we present this to you for Sheila. Celebrating Excellence, 2011 Survivors Recognition. Douglas County Fire Department is pleased to award Sheila Watson the 2011 Survivors Recognition Award for sudden cardiac arrest. And sudden cardiac arrest takes the life of one person every 2 minutes. On January 4th, 2011, Sheila beat the odds thanks to Rodney Higginbotham, Jeff Collette, Nathan Britt, Eric Reinhardt, and Chris Cannon. Thank you.
There you go. While we're getting them all set up to get their official picture taken, let's call on the Georgia State Patrol, Sergeant Joey Boatwright, to present the Officer of the Year.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start off by thanking the Post 145 and their members for putting this on tonight. As everyone well knows, we all too often don't get any appreciation. It's always the bad side that they see or we hear about. But I just want to thank y'all tonight for having us and appreciating us. Our Officer of the Year at Post 4 that represents Douglas and Carroll counties.
Just a minute, our expert's going back to take care of it. There we go.
I can talk over. I'm loud enough. I can talk without it.
But we need it for the TV.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn it back on.
Did I do something to it?
There we go. There we go.
Okay. Our Officer of the Year is Nick Moore. He started out his career with Cobb County in law enforcement, came over to the state in 2008. We're fortunate to have him be assigned here at Post 4 in Villa Rica. He was picked as Officer of the Year by his peers, the members of the station out there, the post. You know, we talked about it and hashed it around, said who y'all want, who deserves it, and he was the one that was picked this year. He does an outstanding job. He shows up every day with a smile on his face. Matter of fact, I got a complaint the other day I was telling him about. I kind of laughed after it was all over with. The lady called and complained. Said this Trooper Moore came, worked my wreck. Said I was at fault, of course. Said he come down to the hospital and talked to me. Said the whole time he was smiling. Said act like he enjoyed it. And I'm thinking, well, what's the complaint here, you know? Anyhow, I let her complain, listened to her, and finally she got through. And I said, ma'am, every day I've seen him, he's been smiling. I said, I think it's permanently affixed to his face. I said, don't take it personal. I said, he's just one of those happy people. I said, it's not that he's, you know, finding some kind of fun or joy out of your incident there. I said, he's just one of those folks that smiles all the time. But he is a pleasure to work with. Hadn't had a bad day yet that I know of. If he did, he didn't let anybody know about it. He comes in with a smile on his face, cheerful to go to work, and does an outstanding job for us. Come on up, Nick. see you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the job that you do. Thank you very much. Say anything? So smile, let's tell you all about it.
I do like to smile, and I do appreciate this. It's great to work with everybody that I get to work with every day from all the different departments in the area. It is a pleasure to do what I do, and I do enjoy it very much, and I can't help it.
The only time I like to be around you guys.
Our next presenters are from the Department of Veterans Affairs, and they've really helped a lot for many of us when we need claims or anything. So I'm going to call on Dan Cravey and Mr. Mike Knowles to come up for a presentation.
Thank you, Faye. We don't work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. We work for the Georgia Department of Veterans Services. We don't work for the VA, we work for the veteran.
Take care of us.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. Every year, Post 145 tells you to get someone to come not knowing that they're getting an award. That's kind of hard to do. The guy that I'm going to call up has no idea that he's getting an award. He probably does now. He used to be my boss.
Just got a clue.
So Mr. George Langford retired in January, and I was appointed to director when he retired, took his place. George worked for the state of Georgia for over 30 years. He has helped thousands of veterans. He's retired, but he's still working for veterans every day. Come on up, George.
You got me good, man. Well, for those of you who know me, I run my mouth. My wife says I talk too much, so I'll try not to. But this is an honor. This is a distinguished group. You're folks that help people, and that's what we are. We're service officers. We do the Lord's work every day, and that's what you do. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for this award. I appreciate the American Legion.
You know, Mr. Dan Cravey could speak about this award, about the surprise element, because he got surprised a couple of years ago and received this award. So we're very, very pleased to have them here and to be able to say thank you for all the work that they do. Our next presenter is our mayor for the city of Douglasville, Mickey Thompson.
Well, thank you. It is certainly a pleasure to join you tonight to present these awards to such deserving people in our community. But before I introduce the person that was selected as the city Employee of the Year, I would like to join many others that have taken this opportunity to thank Post 145 for your commitment to actually recognize and honor all of our public service employees. I've had the pleasure to attend many of these wonderful events, and you are to be commended for your efforts to honor these tremendously deserving public servants that are in this room tonight.
After 16 years, I'm not seeking re-election, and therefore this will be my last time to have the opportunity to present an award to a city employee. So before I ride off into the sunset, let me say this American Legion Post 145 and the recipients that have received these awards in the past and the recipients that are receiving the awards tonight from both the city and the county governments and other service organizations, you are what makes our community such a great place to live here in Douglas County. This year's award winner is someone that works tirelessly for you and for the city of Douglasville. She is the director of the Community and Downtown Services Department. She supervises a staff that promotes tourism for our city and county and the Department of Downtown Development, Historic Preservation, the Downtown Conference Center, and the Main Street programs. She wears a lot of hats. She is responsible for the planning and coordinating of all major city-sponsored events, such as the 4th of July parade, the Christmas festivities that we have, and just about any other event that happens in the city of Douglasville has her handprints on it. She is the project manager for all City of Douglasville construction projects in the downtown area, such as the new conference center that is scheduled to start construction very soon and will be open in 2012. Also, the conference center annex and the current communication and community downtown services office space. She is the project manager for all economic development projects in downtown Douglasville, including the downtown master plan, all business recruitment and retention, and creating economic development incentives for the downtown area. She is the co-host of the monthly public access TV show called Gov 101 that talks a lot about how government works. She serves in various leadership roles for the Georgia Department of Community Affairs and also for the Georgia Municipal Association. I could go on and on detailing what she does and what she is responsible for, but I think you get the picture. She is one hardworking individual, and she has accomplished a tremendous amount. She's a native of Louisiana. All right.
We're not going to hold it against her.
She has a BS in agricultural science from Florida A&M and a BBA in business administration and management from Mercer. Now, this is going to be important to all of us here that served in the military. She turned down a cross-country college scholarship to join the U.S. Navy and served at various duty stations. And completed her tour of duty as an E4. This year's recipient is one of the brightest, result-oriented, hard-working individuals I've had the pleasure to work with during my 16 years at the city. Our city and this community has benefited greatly because of her hard work. This year's recipient of the American Legion Community Award as the City of Douglasville Employee of the Year is Ms. Marsha Hampton. Marsha, if you'd ask your family to join you, please. Come on up.
Well, I'd just like to real quickly say thank you for the mayor for selecting me. And one of the things I will say is that I am a native of Louisiana and I've adopted Georgia as my home. So it's very important that I come to work every day and work with a group of people like the police department, the elected officials who continue to support me, and Mr. Osborne, who I feel like is a dad. Sorry. It's very important. So And my family, my husband, I can call him and say, hey, I got to work a little bit late. Can you pick Josh up? And he's okay with that. And also for my son for missing WWE SmackDown tonight, Friday night, and hanging out with me. So it is important, and I take my job very seriously. I try to make certain that anything that I do, that I respect every task that I do, that is important for everybody else. I think it's a calling. I do think it's religious. I believe it is a blessing to be able to do what I do. I come from a family of public servants, so it is very important that I do what I do with pride, and hopefully not only am I serving my family well, but showing my son that it's good to have a female working and working hard.
And I guess our next presenter has determined that we're getting down towards the end, so it's his turn, and it is his turn. Chief Womack.
Thank y'all very much. Everybody's been bragging on Post 145. One thing I always do is I brag about all the citizens of Douglasville, Douglas County. You hear a lot of times in law enforcement about how, you're not respected, you don't feel love. Well, that's not true here, because I feel very blessed to be serving where I grew up at here in Douglas County, and we do feel the love of our community and the support just like we receive from 145. My biggest amazement about Post 145 is that it's been a year, because I know I'm getting a little more snow on top of the roof here, but it seems like this comes about every 6 months that these come around. They click off so quick. But, I'm one of those individuals. I'm doing what I love, and I love what I do. And I feel so blessed to work with the team of professionals that I have that make our city shine every day. I wish I could get every one of them and parade them across here, because they all do a heck of a job at what they do. And every one of them are team players, and they're in it for the right reasons. And anytime you're working with people who will go out there and take a butt whooping for somebody else that they didn't have coming, but they'll stay in those shoes, that's a hero. And that's the type of people I work with every day. Going to start out with my supervisor of the year. And me and this guy go way back, and his family's here with him tonight. And some of this that I'm going to say about him tonight, they've already heard before, but some of it that y'all probably hadn't heard yet is I want to share a little bit of background with you. I left the police department for a while. I didn't leave the police department, but left policing for a while and went to work in the school systems when I was doing that DARE thing for about 7 or 8 years. And I loved working with the kids, but I was gone off the road for a long time. And then, lo and behold, Joe Wisnett woke up one morning, and decided it was time for me to get back to work, and brought me back to the police department. And I'd been gone in Douglasville. It changed a whole lot. And there I was, a supervisor in charge of a patrol team. And I had this officer on my team named Tommy Deming that helped me get back to where I needed to be a good supervisor and get me back in the ring policing and doing the job that I had to do. And that just continues to be the type of leader he's been. He's a lieutenant now with us, and he's our supervisor of the year. I'm going to go ahead and call Tommy on up. It's natural, I think, as human beings, we gravitate more to certain types of people. Tommy's just been always one of those guys that that I've always gotten along very well with. We work well together, and we've always made a good team wherever we've been working at, whatever we've been assigned to. He's not afraid of anything. He runs a day shift patrol for you here in Douglasville every day, and you never hear one of his employees say anything bad about his style of leadership. Because he's right in there in the mix with them. You know, he's not going to go out there and tell somebody to do something he's not already doing himself or already done himself. And the men and women appreciate that when they've got those type of leaders that they know's got their back, going to stand up for them and be beside them in the fight out there. So at this time, I'm going to recognize our Supervisor of the Year, Lieutenant Tommy Deming.
Hate talking in front of people. You can stand up in front of 5 or 6, no problem. I just want to say thanks. Our command staff, they picked the Supervisor of the Year. Somebody has to nominate me. I don't know who did it. It's pretty humbling. I'm kind of an opinionated kind of guy. They know where I stand every day, but yet they still approve of what I do, and I appreciate them. Thank y'all.
The next one, and I will also mention this next selection is our Officer of the Year, and like Sergeant Boatwright mentioned, it's a peer-selected award. So I think that means a lot. At least it would to me. I know if my peers were saying, "Hey, you're the best that we've got," and I can say at my department, it's not a popularity contest. It's who they know is going out and producing every day. And we've had somebody, to be honest with you, that particularly this past year just caught fire. He does a great job every day. His heart lies in interdiction work, going out there and catching people with dope and putting them in jail. And that's a tough job to do, and he takes it very seriously. I recently went to a national conference where he, as a patrolman, is still out answering calls every day and still putting up bigger numbers seizing narcotics off the street than some of the interdiction guys that do it every day for a living. That's their job. And the stats this guy put up with his felony arrests, he had, what was it, Justin, almost triple figures, about 98 felony arrests this year. That's a lot of thugs off our streets, folks. That's some mean folks behind bars. Justin Manwaring is a war veteran. He's a leatherneck. He's a devil dog. Semper Fi. Hoorah. And he walks around with a smile. Everybody enjoys working with him. I'm also proud to say that we're fixing to put him in a new position. I don't even know if the sheriff knows this yet, but he's going to be our newest member of the fine unit here in a few weeks. And Sheriff, I'm confident he's going to take the ball and run with it. We have a bunch of hard hitters out there, and Justin's going to be going right where he needs to be. He's earned that spot, and he's fixing to get put in the game out there on I-20. Come on up, Justin. Our Officer of the Year, Justin Manwaring. Now, one thing that folks will say about Justin is, you know, he kind of comes across a little outspoken, maybe even a little arrogant sometimes, you know, and I just try to tell him, not everybody can do it like I do. Not everybody's mild-mannered and soft-spoken and, you know, like staying behind the scenes. Sometimes we need somebody like Justin to step to the front.
Spot right there. I'd like to thank the Legion. Like I said, it's just an honor getting awards from different vets. Like I said, I never thought I'd get in the camaraderie like I had when I was in the Marine Corps. My 2 combat tours with all my friends, I never thought I'd be in an occupation that has that kind of camaraderie until I got to the police department. Working beside everybody every day is an honor. I love what I do. I love coming to work. I'm usually always early because I don't like sitting at home playing with my dog, so I come into work. I love working with the sheriff's office, especially when I was there on Thornton Road, my detail. And like I said, it's just an honor to work for the police department, and I'd like to thank my chief for not firing me for all my complaints. And I can't wait to get down to the fine unit. That's a goal I've had for a very long time, and I plan to keep taking narcotics off the streets and bringing money into the city from the illegal transporting of the money. So thank you all very much.
You know, one thing I always tell all my folks, there's one sure way you won't ever get complained in police work. Just sit back and don't do anything, you won't ever get complained on. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Yes, my fault on that one. Actually, my civilian employee is under the weather. She can't be here. She is actually our court supervisor. Her name is Jennifer Graham. I will say a couple things about Jennifer, even though she's not here. She's a very dedicated employee. She's a go-to employee for me. I know all I gotta do is pick up the phone one time, ask her one time, and I never have to look back at those notes again, because I know without a doubt Jennifer's gonna take care of business for us and get it done. The caseload in our court system has picked up tremendously. You know, a lot of times in government, when I go to our staff meetings, I hear about how, well, they're down over here in this department, they're down in this department. Folks, business is good in the police department. It's steady. We got plenty of work out there, and we're gonna keep working hard, and we're gonna keep it safe for y'all. And if we can ever do anything for you, please don't hesitate calling on us. Thank you.
And while they're getting their picture taken, I will let you know that we have 2 more plaques left. And it's kind of become a tradition in the American Legion that we're not able to present these plaques because of conflicting schedule. The first one that we have is for the Douglas County Teacher of the Year. And from Alexander High School, that's Mike Badowski. And Mike is out of town, so he can't be here. So we'll try and get to Alexander and before the school year's out and make sure he receives his plaque. And also, the Georgia Economics Teacher of the Year is Kristen Johnson, and she's from Chapel Hill High School, and she had a conflict in her schedule and could not be here. I want to say thank you all for being here. It's been my pleasure to stand in and hopefully try and represent James McAdams and to represent our Douglasville American Legion post in a good manner. And just to let you know how much we appreciate all of you in the community. Whenever we've needed something, you've always been there for us as a post, as a commissioner, as the mayor, whatever we've needed. And we say thank you all to all of our community service people. Thank you very much.